Welcome to Sydney, Magnus, and thanks for joining us today. Can you please tell us a bit about yourself and what led you to write this book?
Well, I was running a quite successful hedge fund, and it was in fact nominated as one of the 3 best hedge funds in Europe 3 years in a row. But it was also some investors doing even better performance than we did. So I got a bit curious. Have they found the magic formula? So I started to do some research, and 5 years later, and after more than 5,000 hours, it's ended up in this book.
Having met, researched and interviewed so many of the world's top investors, what conclusions have you reached about the personalities who tend to succeed in the investment industry?
Well, they are all different, and it is as many strategies and as investors in the book. Some buy stocks at the top and some at the bottoms. Some retains them for decades and some only for a couple of seconds. But it more that unites them than divides them. And it's possible to discern a common behavior of all the investors in the book. And I have in the book listed 12 factors, which I could mention a couple which I think is very interesting. For me personal, the biggest surprise was the flexibility. I thought that they developed a strategy and they stay there, but they are flexible, and that's not so strange if you think another step, because it's so competitive environment. So if something works good, everyone is joining, and that destroys the performance. And then the good investors, they're taking a little other direction. Another thing is the risk. They have, on average, delivered some 12 percentage points better than benchmark in 25 years. That's amazing. And I thought that was done at the cost of high risk, but it's the opposite. They're avoiding risk. They operate with lower risk than other investors. Then they also has carved out a little piece of the market where they're more or less best in the world, and they have stayed there. They're not jumping around. And then, they're doing mistakes as we other as well, but they learn from their mistakes, and that's a big difference, I think. They keep it simple, not so complex at all, and they're working hard. And if you talk about personalities, I'm a little bit surprised that they are very humble and generous. They're living quite sparingly and routine life. Some odd hobby, beekeeper or stamp collector, yeah.
So Anton Tagliaferro made the cut into your top 99 investors. What qualities led you to include him in your list specifically?
He's been in the market for many years, and he has survived all the big drops in the market, and he have very good performance compared with benchmark. In general, I must say that Australia has very good investors, and Anton is one of the best you have down here, definitely. And he has a clear strategy. That's very, very important. All the investors in the book has a method and a system and model for all the investments. And that's a big difference compared with the average investors outside. And he has a clear model how he would like to invest.